My name is Harper Ellison. I'm 30 years old, and I run an AI-driven sustainability company called Verticore. This is the story of how I finally made my family look at me, really look at me, for the first time in my life. I grew up in the suburbs of Seattle, forever standing in the shadow of my older brother Cameron. Cam was the prodigy, Stanford undergrad, Harvard MBA, now a partner at a top-tier private equity firm in San Francisco. In our house, his quarterly bonuses were treated like national holidays. My achievements? They were cute side notes at best. Last Thanksgiving, I flew home from Austin with a folder I was actually excited to open at the dinner table. Verticore had just closed a $22 million Series A, led by one of the biggest climate tech funds on the West Coast. I waited for a gap in the conversation. "Hey, Dad, I wanted to share some news. We closed the round at an $11 million valuation." My father didn't even look up from carving the turkey. "That's nice, honey. Cameron just closed a $750 million deal for his fund. Real money, real impact." My aunt chimed in with a sympathetic smile. "Harper, sweetie, you were always the artistic one. Maybe tech isn't your lane." Artistic. Because I'd once made pottery in high school. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, and stared at the ceiling until the sting behind my eyes stopped. 2 days later, I was back in Austin, walking into the new office we'd just leased. 12,000 square feet of glass and reclaimed wood. My co-founder Leah met me at the door with 2 espressos. "Let me guess," she said. "Still invisible at home?" "Pretty much." She handed me a tablet. "Well, the rest of the world just noticed." The headline on TechCrunch read, "Verticore raises $22 million to make corporate carbon tracking actually honest. 30-year-old founder Harper Ellison called the conscience of climate tech." The article went viral. Fast Company, Forbes, Bloomberg, everyone picked it up. My phone blew up with congratulations from people I hadn't spoken to since middle school. Nothing from my parents. Not a single text. A week later, my mom called. "Honey, your dad's retiring from Boeing next month. We're throwing a big party at the country club. Can you make it? And maybe bring that lemon rosemary cake everyone likes?" I laughed so hard I almost dropped the phone. The same week I was on the cover of a national magazine, I was being asked to bake. I said yes. Of course I did. The night of the retirement party was crisp and clear. I pulled into the country club valet in the new Rivian R1S. I'd bought myself the day the round closed. Midnight blue, panoramic roof, zero subtlety. Heads turned. I heard someone whisper, "Wait, that's little Harper?" I wore a slate gray suit that cost more than my first car, heels that clicked like punctuation marks, and the kind of quiet confidence you only earn after 3 years of sleeping under your desk. My mom spotted me first. She actually dropped the tray of hors d'oeuvres she was passing. "Harper?" "Hey, Mom." I hugged her. "You look great." Dad was at the grill in his Boeing retiree polo, flipping steaks like nothing in the world had changed. I walked straight up to him and handed him a small black box. "Happy retirement, Dad." He turned it over in his hands, a limited edition watch with an engraving on the back, "To New Horizons." One of his old coworkers elbowed him. "Bob, isn't that your daughter on the cover of Forbes this month?" Dad grunted something non-committal. Cameron showed up late, fresh off a flight from San Francisco, looking annoyed that the spotlight had shifted even for a second. He gave me the once-over. "Nice SUV," he said. "Lease or did the funding actually close?" "Closed," I replied, "and the next round's already oversubscribed." Dinner was a slow-motion train wreck in the best way possible. Relatives who used to ask me if I was still playing with my little app now cornered me to ask if Verticore was hiring. My uncle wanted to know if we could track his company's Scope 3 emissions. My cousin asked for a job on the spot. Dad gave his toast near the end. He talked about 40 years at Boeing, about Cameron making partner before 35. Polite applause. Then he paused. And Harper? Apparently, my daughter's been building something out there in Texas that the whole world seems to care about. He tried for a joke. Guess the quiet one had the last word. It wasn't an apology. It still hurt. But it was the closest he'd ever come. Later, when the party thinned out, I found him on the patio staring at the water. "You still haven't opened the watch," I said. He turned it over, read the engraving, and for once didn't have a comeback. "I was hard on you," he said finally. "Thought I was pushing you to be tougher." "You pushed me, all right," I said. "Just not the way you think." 3 months later, Verticor's new headquarters opened in downtown Austin, a net-zero building with living walls and a rooftop garden. My entire family flew down for the ribbon cutting. My mom cried when she saw my name in 10-foot letters on the side of the building. Cameron walked through the office like a kid in a spaceship. Dad stood in the lobby for a long time, hands in his pockets, staring up at the mission statement etched in glass. "We measure what matters so the planet can heal." He was wearing the watch. On the way out, he stopped me. "I was wrong," he said, voice rough. "You're not the quiet one. You're the one who changed everything." I smiled. "Took you long enough." I didn't need his approval anymore. I just needed him to see me. And for the first time in 30 years, he finally did.